Okay, good evening, everyone. Glad you could join me.
Hello.
Last week, hey, how you doing, Linnell? Last
Uh,
week I had this worksheet open. I never went over these problems, and the young lady has sent it to me in the email, so I want to make sure I go over this two of these problems. So these two problems are from the high set exam. So even though this is not GED, it's from the high set exam, it's still a high school equivalency exam. And these type of problems you could see on the GED. So first of all, I want to go over number 23. It said,
um, I just come in to let you know I passed my math with 161.
161.
Congratulations! Oh, congratulations.
And you
Congrats.
know what? What too? The day I have to go write it. I was watching your video, inequality, and everything I watched came.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
a big
Wow.
thank you to
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you. If you could send me an email, send me your scores, send me your experience that you had, because what I want to do is usually I have it, since my dad was sick, I had stopped for a while, but I want to post again when people pass, when people do well. So just so people
So
can
I have
understand.
like a lot of geometry word problem.
Okay.
And close.
Good, good.
Yeah.
So send me that in the email so I can make sure I give you your credit, and also um I want to celebrate people when they pass. But thank you for joining us to let you know.
Of
Um
course, I have to tell you because I use your video. I come here, so I have to let you know.
I appreciated that greatly. That's why I do it. I'm glad you logged in.
Don't stop because I never knew I could have like go one time. It's my first time writing math too, and I was like, I didn't know what I was like going into because I never like see the math exam.
Hmm.
But I was like, you know what? With all these help, all the video and whatever I'm doing, I have to pass. Even
Yes.
like 140 something. When when I open up it and it say 161, I had to look twice.
Wow.
I
Well,
couldn't believe it.
because 165 is college ready, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think 165 is college ready. So if you score
Yes, it is.
165, I think that's what they say is like you could take a college math course and do well. And I've had a lot of students call me that went to community colleges, whatever state they're from, and call me and say, Mr. Tinsley, thanks. Because I still have about 4 or 5 students that still use my site for that
Mm.
college algebra class, because a lot of stuff you still want to use, and they use the practice problems inside the site to still prepare themselves for their college courses. So I'm glad I could help.
Yeah, I'm so glad that I passed. So I
So
have
don't forget
two
to
more.
send me that email.
No, I have two more left. I have science and language art, and I want to finish it off by December.
All right. So what you can do is, um, if you want me to, um, when you send me that email, let me know, because the science is a lot of math. So if you
Yeah.
just pass the math, I
Mm.
would go over independent, dependent variables. I would um I would go over, of course, scientific process, scientific notation, and Punnett squares.
Mm.
And then since you score so high in the math, I will go right in. So if you send me an email, just remind me to send you the science stuff to prepare you. I'll send you some stuff. I like literally, I would tell you if you pass math with that type of score, I would probably try to get into the science in like 1 to 2 weeks to go take your science, and you'll be done
Yeah, yeah.
science.
Already scheduled the science.
Okay. So send me an email, and then maybe I'll do a one-on-one with you for the science real quick, so make sure you pass the science.
Oh, thank you so much. All right. Good luck,
Okay.
one. Use his video. He's really good. He know what he's doing. He know what he's saying. The way he teach. I learned so much shortcut from him. Honestly, like I was so happy I found his video. So if it takes you 2, 3 months, take your time, do your stuff, but don't give up.
That's right. Thank you so
I-
much.
Yo, congratulations.
Thank you,
Congratulations.
thank you. All right, I'll let you get back to your
Have a good night. Thank you.
good
So
night. Bye.
so number 23 says which table represents a function? So this person that sent me the email had no idea what they were looking at. So let me ask you, the people who are here tonight, would you know how to do 23?
No.
Okay.
Isn't it FX?
Yeah, it says f of x, yes.
Okay.
So this is a function. That's how a function is notated with f of x, g of x, h of x. But all it's saying, but really, how you think of it is, so when you have a problem, you have a linear equation, right? We got y equal 2x plus 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, a function is f of x
Right.
equal 2x plus 3.
Right. Okay.
So really, you could think of f of x as being y. But then this makes sense. So this is just put y's there. So
Mm-hmm.
now you know that x is your input and your f of x or your y is your output. So remember, what makes something a function? For every x, there's only one y. So when we
Right.
look at a, I have two values of x. X is one, but I got two different values for y. This is not a function. Again,
Mm-hmm.
let's look at C. You got two values of 3, right? And value of -1, right? But again, you got two values, right? Not a function. -2, not a function. Same value of x, different y's, not a function. This is an easy problem. All you have to remember is for every x, there's only one y. That's it. That's an easy problem. It's one of the easiest problems on exam, but it's one of the most missed questions on the GED exam. Now, she also asked about number 20. Number 20 says, what factorization can be used to reveal the zero? And again, it says of the function f of x. Remember, it's the same thing. It's a quadratic equation, and all they're doing is factoring. We know the last term is -2. If you know your sign numbers, you know same sign is positive. So when we see -2 times -1, that's a +2. It can't be E. +2 times +1 is a +2. It can't be D. -2 times -1 is a +2. It can't be C. Even if you don't know how to do this problem, I just eliminated 3 of the multiple choice. And I got a 50-50 chance to get it right. Just by knowing the last term, again, last term in this quadratic equation comes from the two terms and your two binomials multiplied together. Now, you just do a simple, some people call it FOIL, but simple distributive property. X times X is 2x squared. X times 1 is X. Well, that's a positive X. I already know +2 times 2x is a 4x. I already know it's not A. I'm done. 20 seconds. B. Done. So I did want to go over those problems because the young lady asked about both of those questions last week and I didn't go over them. But I wanted to know those are simple problems. And guess what? You're going to have both of those questions, whether you're taking the high set or whether you're taking the GED. You're going to see both of those problems. Now, you might see it a little differently on the GED, but very similar problems. You definitely going to see 20. You definitely going to see 23. Definitely. But 23, they might show you a graph. They might give you a table, but here they gave us a horizontal table. On the GED, they're probably gonna give you a vertical table, but that's the only difference. And they're probably gonna have X and Y. So the only difference is the GED will say which one is a function. They may have 0, 1, 2, 3, 2, 7, 3, 9. So when you see that word function, what makes something a valid function? Every X, there's only one Y. So immediately, when you see the same value of X, and two different y's. This is not a function. That's it. That easy. That easy. And that's been on every single GED since 2014. Some sort of question like that. Now they might use f of x, they might use g of x, they might use h of x, but you understand the notation of a function. When you see that or the word function, you know that's one of the easiest problems you're gonna get. Yep. And they always ask you to factor a quadratic equation. They always ask you to what factor, quadratic equation, and to solve one. So you got to be ready for that. All right. So what specific questions do we have that I can answer for you? Besides, I went over those 2 questions, and now it's for the people that's here tonight. What questions can I answer? Did you work on anything or a concept matter that you didn't understand or a specific problem you want me to go over?
I just worked on starting to practice on a calculator.
Okay.
Uh,
What did you do on the calculator?
what is that? What is that? When you whole numbers, when you got to go down the float and go into float the different models into the calculator.
So that's rounding you talking about.
Yeah, rounding. I'm sorry. Yeah,
No,
rounding.
it's no problem. So one of the things you want to make sure that when you're working with the calculator, you make sure that terminology is correct. So for example, let's do 654.79. Okay. So
Mhm.
we're gonna round this off to the nearest whole number.
Right.
We're gonna round off to the nearest to tens place. We're gonna round off to the hundreds place. We're gonna round off to the tens place, and we're gonna round off to the hundreds place. Mr. Tinsley, why are you doing all that? Because I want to make sure you understand how to do it and how to do it on the calculator, because it's very important that you understand that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna change my color to red. And let's see what that says. You
Oh,
put a
I just took what I need to work on. Let me go grab my calculator.
let me see if I can see that. If I can click and see it. Let me see. I didn't even know. Is it opening it up? Yeah, it opened it up. Yep. Okay. Right. So that's so again, so what you can do is I gave just looking at your practice test, or give your last test that you've taken, I would focus on those. So, and this is why. So looking at that before we do this rounding problem, the first 5 is 5 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Linear equations is 5 to 10 questions. So let's just say 5. That's 10 questions.
Right.
Functions is at least 2 to 3.
Okay.
Mean and median is at least 2.
Okay.
Ratio and proportions is at least 2. Area, perimeter, volume is at least 3. And Pythagorean theorem is 1. So right there, just those areas right there, that's about 15 to 18 problems that if you focus on, you can go take your test and be done.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's round this real quick. Let me change the red. So if I was rounding this to the whole number, what digit is in my ones, please?
Mm-hmm.
What digit is in my ones, please?
We start from the right. 1, 9, 9. No,
Right.
no, I'm wrong.
So here's my decimal
Cool.
point right here,
Oh, 4.
the 4. So we look at the number to the right, that's 5 or above, that 4 becomes a what? A-
No, it goes down to
It
wait a
goes
minute.
down, never
Wait,
goes
you
down.
said 5 or
Go.
above goes
So
up, right?
it goes up. So that 4 becomes a what?
3, right? No, wait. That's where I'm mixed up at.
Okay.
Yeah.
So remember, rounding, you're never going down.
Right. Okay.
Ever, ever, ever. You never round down. You either
Okay.
stay where you are or you go up. So think of it like this, right? If I'm rounding to the ones, right?
Right.
You're saying 65, 654.79. Is that nearest to 654 or is it closer to 655? What would you say?
It's closer to 655.
That's easy.
Right.
That's
Okay.
all rounding is.
Okay.
Well,
So I'm giving you a way to compute how you do it, uh, 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 the algebraic way to solve it, right? But you can see it. Like for example, 67. Is that closer to 60 or is it close to the 70? So if I was rounding up to the nearest tens, is it closer to 60 or is it close to 70?
Mhm.
70.
That's easy, 70, right?
7.
That's all we doing here. So
Oh,
we look at this digit here. Look at the number to the right. Is that 5 or above? That goes up. So 655. Everything else remains, gets a 0.
0.
Do I
Right.
need those zeros at the end? No,
No.
because we round out to the ones place, 655. If I round to the tens place, let me take my eraser. Oops, didn't mean to erase that. The tens place. I look at the number to the right. Is that 5 or above? No, my 5 stays the same. So I write my 6, 5, everything else becomes zeros.
Mhm.
Do I need the zeros? No, 650. Okay, that's all rounding is. Let me take my eraser. Hundreds. The 6 is in my hundreds place. I look to the digit to the right. Is that 5 or above? Yes. My 6 goes up. That becomes a 7. Everything else becomes zeros.
Okay.
Do I need the zeros after the decimal? No, I don't. 700. So when you read the number, you should see it. So the whole number, 655. Tens, 650. Hundreds, 700. You should hear your answer when you read it, unless it rounds off to a whole number. But there you go. Tenths, please. Let's do tenths. Now, again, identifying the value in that place is important. So the 7 is in the tenths place. I look at the number to the right. Is that 5 or above? That 7 becomes an 8. Everything else to the left of that stays the same. So 6, 5, 4.8. Everything else becomes a 0. Don't need the 0 at the end. So if I read that number, 654 and 8 tenths, I hear where I'm rounding. Hundreds, please. Well, it really can't. Right? Okay, I'm gonna put a digit here. Right? So let me take a picture. Look at the number in the hundreds place, which is 9. Look at the digit to the right. That's a 5. This goes up. So because this 9, you go up, there's no other digits in decimal. It's zero, it's digits 0 through 9. So you can't, it's nothing up 9. So what you have to do is this becomes a 0. This becomes an 8. So 654.80. Everything else becomes a 0. I don't need the 0 here. Let's read that number. 654 and 80 hundredths. You might say, well, Mr. Tinsley, why before you crossed out all the zeros? Because here we're rounding off to the hundreds place. So we have to keep 2 digits there because you got your tenths and your hundreds. Right? Now, Mr. Tinsley, rounding off then gave me a problem my whole life. This is why I show you in the book how to round off quickly without no problems. You just got to learn how to do it. So, for example, no matter, so I go in here, let me take this off. I'm going to round it off to the ones, tens, hundreds, and then I'm going to do tenths and hundreds. Right. So 654.79. I hit my mode. I want to round off to the ones place. Right. So there's no decimal places. I hit enter, come back here, 655. I want to round off my tenths place. I go to mode. My tenths is I got 1 decimal place. So I go to my 1. I press enter. Quit out of there. 654.8. We don't have to really do the hundreds place because I don't have anything in the thousand place. But that easy, you can easily round. So now, if you notice, you can't round to the ones, tens, hundreds, but you should know how to do that. Most people not around to the whole number. But that's all you got to do is practice. Then follow it up. Make sure you followed up with the calculator. She had no problems at all. They're going to ask you to round to the nearest whole number. They're going to ask you. They're going to ask you at least one problem to round off to the nearest tenth or the hundred. Be prepared for it. I saw this young lady. She did a volume problem. She did everything right. Then when she came to round it, she got it wrong. I was like, wow, wow. But I explained it to her that math is step by step. So understand where you made that error. Make sure you fix it, and then you move on to the next thing. All right, what's next? So we rounded off. I showed you how to do it by hand and with the calculator. What's next?
Something else. Something else I wanted to ask you. I should have wrote it down. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. But I was oh, I just wanted to tell you, when I went in to do the multiplication, that multiplication thing, that the test, just to see, the 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if something was wrong with the website, because when I was punching in my numbers, like any number was coming up on there. one number would go in and then the next number would be a number that I didn't even hit. So I was like, is it my site or is it my tablet or what?
Now that I can't ask, I can't tell you, but you can access that site from your tablet, from your laptop. I would just try something else and then compare it.
Because I had a bunch of what you call that, the little bit of articles kept popping. You know what I mean? Like other things was like popping up.
Yeah, so try it on another computer, another laptop or something and see if you get the same errors. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So again, this is up now. This is released August. This is released years ago. But basically the test is the same since 2014. They haven't changed it. Okay. So the same concepts. So you can't even find this anymore. But it's the most missed questions on the GED math exam. So part of it is, okay, well, if you're telling me what's the most missed questions, that means they're going to be on the test.
Yeah.
So compute the area and circumference of circles, find the radius or diameter of a circle given the area of circumference. Okay, these are look at that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Hold on,
11, 12, 13, 14. That's 14 problems, most missed questions. Here go your algebraic expressions. What to look for. Okay, this is all given out by GED. So anything they give out, I'm going to use, or I'm going to, you know what I mean? I'm going to make sure I know how to do it. So again, look at that. Locate points on the coordinate plane. One of the most missed questions. It's the easiest question on the exam. Determine the slope of a line from a graph, equation, or table. If you practice enough, it's no problem. Now, graph two variable linear equations. So this is what they mean. When they give you a linear equation, right? Two variables. So I could have x plus 3 equals 5. That's one variable. Y equal 2x plus 3 is two variables. 2x plus 3y equal 9 is two variables. But when people see two variables, oh my God, what's that? That's all it is. That's all it is. So then you say, okay, that's slope-intercept form. That's standard form. How do I find the slope? How do I get the y-intercept? Then how do I graph? So those are the things we went over, but let's make sure we know how to do them. So let me find a linear equation. Let's see if I got one here. Is this one?
Those are the ones I miss.
You missed these. You want me to go over that?
Yeah. Sometimes I just press and keep going. And when I try to go back to it, I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing.
Okay.
Those are the
All right. So
practice.
let's do, these are very similar, but I'll go over it real quick. So first of all, let me do a problem first. Let me do like number 3. So this is how I would do this problem. So they're not going to give you this on the GED. What they're going to do is they're going to say, which of these graphs is this equation? And they're going to give you 4 graphs, and you got to select the one. First thing you're looking for, is this slope positive or negative? So for example, let me see. Let me see. Let me try that. 1, 2, 2, 3. Okay. So for example, if I had A, y equal 2/3 x minus 4, B equals B, y equal minus 2/3 x minus 4, C, y equal 2/3 x plus 4, D, y equal minus 2/3 x minus 4. Oops, plus 4. Okay. So this is your multiple choice. They're saying which equation is this line? Well, first of all, from left to right, it's going which direction? Is it going down or up? From left to right. From left to right.
Down.
Down. So from left to right, I'm going which direction? Down. So because I know that, I know my slope is negative. So right away, I can get something. I can ascertain information by just looking at the line. So remember what I said. It's key that you understand from left to right.
Left to right.
Because depending upon how you look at it, you can say it's going up. If I'm going from right to left, it looks like it's going up. From left to right, which direction is going? So if it's going up, your slope is positive. If it's going down, it's negative. From left to right. So right away, I know the slope is negative. So when I look at A, right, let me change my color to black. When I look at A, what is my slope of A? Is it positive or negative?
Negative?
For A?
Yeah.
Is that positive?
So I got two different answers. Well, someone said negative, someone said positive. How do you know?
Because it doesn't, well, when it's negative, wouldn't it have that negative sign in front of it? But then it does have the X. I don't know.
No. So, see,
Yeah.
now you're confusing yourself.
Yeah.
Start with you know. So first of all, what form is this linear equation in? What form? So it's either going to be slope-intercept form.
Yeah.
Or standard form. Because I never talk about point slope form, not for the GED. So slope-intercept form is y equal mx plus b. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. You have to know that. So what form is A in? Is it slope-intercept form or is it standard form?
It's in slope.
Nope.
Slope what?
The slope form.
It's not slope form, it's slope-intercept form.
Intercept.
The reason why they call it slope-intercept form, because you should easily be able to identify what the slope is. Y equal mx plus b. So you should be able to see that the slope of this is positive 2/3. You should be able to see that the y-intercept is -4. It's nothing for you to do. So the first thing you should do tonight, that if I'm given an equation in slope-intercept form, how do I get the slope and y-intercept? So for B, what's my slope?
Y. Let me see.
Slope-intercept form.
It's in slope-intercept form. Now, what's the slope of B?
Negative 2/3. 2/3.
Negative 2/3. It's nothing for you to do. It's easy. But what happens is we're thinking, oh, it can't be that easy. Yes, all you're doing is identifying first. What form is it in? If it's in slope-intercept form, whatever's in front of the X is your slope. Whether it's negative or positive, whatever is in front of that X, whatever coefficient is in front of that X is your slope. So my slope is negative 2/3. My y-intercept is -4. My slope for C is what?
Positive 2/3.
Positive 2/3. My y-intercept is what?
Positive 4.
Positive 4. For D, what is my slope?
Negative 2/3.
Negative 2/3. My y-intercept is what?
Positive 4.
Positive 4. So since we already said the slope is negative, we know it can't be A because that's positive. We know it can't be C because that's positive.
Okay.
Now, what's our y-intercept from the graph? Where does it cross the y-axis?
Where does it cross?
Where does it cross the y-axis, or what number?
So y-axis will be down under where the negative is, where that arrow is.
That's the y. So your y is the whole vertical axis. It's not down near where that line is. It's the vertical axis go up and down forever.
Okay.
The x-axis goes left to right forever.
Okay.
So where does it cross the y-axis? -4. So I know my answer is B. It can't be D because here my y-intercept is +4. That's how easy it is. And so many people get it wrong.
Yeah, those are the ones that always get wrong or start getting sweaty. The next thing you know, that I'm forgetting everything I know.
Because what happens, you're trying to remember.
Yeah.
You're trying to remember the problem. What I'm saying is right now, watch this. Watch this. Is this slope positive or negative?
Positive.
Why is it? Tell me why it's positive.
Because it's on the top. The top left
Nope.
is
Nope.
no.
Not at all. Tell me why it's positive. So remember what I said.
That's the Y.
From left to right,
left
what
to right,
direction
so
is it going?
Yeah.
What direction is it going?
From left to right, it's negative.
From left to right, what direction am I going?
All right. So,
Which direction? Up or down?
Up.
Up. So right, I know. So let me zoom in real quick. Well, let me zoom out because I need to see every problem because I need you to understand. That's the first thing you need to understand. How to look at the graph. We're not trying to remember anything. I need you to be able to look at this graph and know whether the slope is positive or negative. So for number one, is my slope positive or negative?
It's
positive. You said number one?
Number one. I heard one positive. What do you say?
positive. It's positive.
Why?
Because it's going from left to right.
So right, from not because it's going left to right,
It's
from
going
left
up.
to right. So I go with the leftmost point. Whatever the farthest left that I can go. This is the farthest left I can go. And I'm going up the line. Am I going up or down?
Up.
You're going up.
I know it's positive.
Okay.
So I go to my leftmost point, right there. What direction am I going?
Negative.
Going. What direction am I going?
Down.
Down. So because I'm going down, my slope is what?
Negative.
Negative. I go to my leftmost point. Which direction am I going?
Negative.
No. What direction am I
you're
going?
going to positive. You go up.
What? So I'm going up.
Negative.
What kind of up you going? So you telling me that's going up?
No, it's going down. So you're going
So
to.
again, I'm asking two questions. The first thing you're thinking, I'm not asking positive or negative first. I'm saying from left to right, am I going up or down? Answer that question first.
You're going to the right.
No,
I'm
going
right,
down.
but am I going up or down?
Down.
Down. Because I'm going down, my slope is what?
Negative.
Negative. That's all you're asking yourself. Hold on, Mr. Tinsley. What's four or number four is not going up or down? Like what? I don't. Oh, is it because it's not. When you have a horizontal line, your slope is zero. You have a perfectly horizontal line. I don't care where you are on the graph. It's perfectly horizontal. Slope is zero. Understand that? Good.
So zoom that real quick.
So now again, all this is visual. This is nothing. This is nothing for you to remember. You have to know it. So from left to right, for number five, what direction am I going? From left to right, what direction am I going? For number five.
Number five, you're going up.
You're going
positive.
Up. So the slope is positive. For number six.
Hold on.
Hey, hang on, please.
You go back to five and show me the because I thought it was negative, but can you show me?
Okay. So you know what your left is and you know what your right is, correct?
Yes.
So I'm looking at the graph, right? So let me just make this clear. This is my left.
Right.
This is my right. Right? The leftmost point on here, the leftmost, the farthest I can go this way is right here. Right? I'm on that line.
Okay.
Which way am I going?
Positive.
I'm going up.
Right.
Because I'm going up, my slope is what?
Positive.
Positive.
Okay.
For number six, from left to right, what direction am I going?
Number 6 from left to right.
You gotta
You're
look
going
for,
up, so you're going positive.
So it's positive. Going up. So I start here. That's my leftmost point. This is not my leftmost point
right.
because I can go more left. This is left. So now going up this line, I'm going up.
Okay.
Positive slope. So that's the first thing you got to be able to identify first. From left to right, what direction is it going?
Mhm.
You got to be able to do that. Left to right. So let's look at number 3. I'm going to make number 3 nice and big.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, no, we did number 3 already. We did number 3 already. So we'll do, I don't want to do that one either. I like 0.
Mhm.
Let's do this one right here. So left to right, I already know it's going up. So I know my slope is positive.
Mhm.
I already know it. This is my y-axis. This is my x-axis. I know where it's crossing the y-axis. What number is that?
Positive 4, not 5.
Say it, say it clearly. Don't be scared. Just say it out. What you think it is.
5.
5.
I
So
thought,
my
yeah.
y-intercept or my b is plus 5. Understand that?
Mhm.
So the third thing. So first of all, identifying whether it's positive or negative. The second thing, identifying the y-intercept. Where's it crossing the y-axis? The third thing, I need to find the slope because you need to know 2 things to find the equation of a line. You need the slope and you need the y-intercept. To find the equation of a line, you need 2 things. You need the slope and you need the y-intercept. We already found this y-intercept. That's easy, plus 5. So we already know our equation is going to be y equals something x plus 5.
Yeah.
Not minus 5, not minus 3, not plus 3. Because we know the form of slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, I know the end of my equation is going to be something times x plus 5. So right away, I could probably eliminate 2 of the multiple choice. You understand that?
Mhm.
How many points do I need to figure out the slope? How many points do I need to figure out the slope? How many points do I need to figure out the slope? So if I got this 1 point on this line, I can figure out what the slope is? No.
No. 6. 1. 6, right?
These are all points
1,
on
Right.
this
2,
line,
3.
right? These are all points on this
1,
line.
2,
So
3, 4,
what you
5.
have to realize is these are a point on this line. There are infinite amount of points on this line.
Mhm.
So it's not like a line has 2 points. It's not like a line has 5 points. Another line has 10 points. A line has an infinite amount of points, but you need 2 to figure out the slope. Any 2. It doesn't matter what 2. Any 2. So right now, I'm going to pick this one and this one. I'm always going to pick my y-intercept because I already know that's a point on the line. I'm that one. So to find my slope is rise over run. Let me change my color to blue, the black, so we can see it. I'm going to use this point and this point. So if I start with the leftmost point again, now can you use the rightmost point to figure out the slope? You can. I just tell my students leftmost point of these 2 that I'm using for the slope. So I got to go up 1. So my rise is 1, and I got to go over 1. My run is 1. 1 over 1 is 1. So my slope is 1. So y equal mx plus b. My slope was 1. So instead of m, I'm going to put a 1 there. So y equal 1x plus 5. You're never going to see a 1 as a coefficient. So the equation of this line is y equal x plus 5. So what you do when you get home tonight or tomorrow, whenever you study, is you say, you know what? I'm going to make sure I know how to figure out whether slope is positive or negative. I'm going to make sure I know how to figure out what the y-intercept is. I'm going to make sure I understand what slope intercept form is and standard form is. And then how do I use 2 points to find my slope? You shouldn't move. You should not move until you know it. That's only going to take about an hour at the most. So again, watch this. Is the slope positive or negative? Oh, I know it's positive. Why?
Positive.
Because from left to right is going up. My y-intercept is right here. So I know my y-intercept is plus. I know I need 2 points. If I pick this point, I can't tell what that is. I can't tell what that is. Is that 2.6? Is it 2.7? I can't tell what it is, so I'm not going to use that point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down this line until I find a point on whole numbers.
Someplace I'm doing
Right there.
Yeah.
That's the only 2 points on this graph that have whole numbers for x and the y. You understand how I did that? Because it's a graph, I know I need to rise over run.
Right.
So
So
now I'm
we're
going to change my color to red. I'm going to change my arrows. I'm going to start with the leftmost point, which is right here. My rise means I'm going up or down. So to get to my other point, what direction do I need to go? Up. Count with me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
7.
7. So right away, I know my rise is 7. But I'm not done because to figure out the slope from a graph, I need rise over run. I only found the rise. So I need to find the run. What direction do I need to go from where I'm at now to get to that second point? Am I going left or right?
Right.
Right. Let's count with me.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Okay.
5.
So my
Oh,
run
4.
is 4. So now I have my rise in my run. But my slope of this line is what?
Uh,
My slope of this line is what?
7/4.
7/4 or 7 over 4. My
7/4.
y-intercept is what?
mm,
It's right in front of you.
+4.
Positive 4. This is, we can't be taking 30 seconds to find out the y-intercept, something we already did. So you gotta be, you gotta be confident in what you're saying. If you're wrong, so what? It don't
Yeah.
count now.
Yeah.
But what happens is your mind, because you're not confident, you know, what does your mind tell you? No, I'm not getting it wrong. I'm not saying what the answer is. Shoot, I don't want to be wrong. Here is the place to be wrong. So if you are wrong, I can correct you, right? So I know my slope. I know my y-intercept. I know the slope-intercept form is y equal mx plus b. So instead of m, I'm going to put 7 over 4. Instead of b, I'm going to put plus 4. So my equation of this line is y equal 7/4 x plus 4. That's how you do these problems.
What's
If you
always confused
go ahead.
What's always confused me is like the letters too.
So this is
Just
why.
in general with any
Watch
math, the
this.
letters. Yeah.
Understand what I just did. So I had a student to tell me, he said, Mr. Tinsley, my whole life, they explained they did adding and subtracting,
Yeah.
multiplication, division. And one day we got to algebra and he said letters are for numbers. He said my whole life numbers was numbers and letters was different. And then all of a sudden you tell me letters are numbers now, and I just couldn't understand it. So this is what you do. You say what they are every single time. So if you have a equation of a line on a graph, you say y equal mx plus b. M stands for my slope. B stands for my y-intercept. This is why I write it every single time. To find the slope, rise over run. To find the y-intercept, where it crosses the y-axis. So you say it while you're doing it, while you're writing it, and then each step of the way, what happens is, now, you might understand now. Later on tonight, you're not. So you go back over the video, and I don't care what the graph is. This is what you're doing. This is what you're doing. Oh, from left to right, my slope is going up. I know it's positive.
Positive. Going down negative.
Where does it cross the y-axis? 0. So I know my y-intercept is 0.
Yep.
So I have my first point. Let me erase that. I have my first point right there. So I'm going to go up or down this line till I land on a whole number for my x and y. Go up this line, boop, 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 boop. I don't get to a whole number for my x and y till right there. If I go down, I don't get to a whole number, my x and y, till right there. So hold on, Mr. Tennessee, why did you put 2 points? Because I already told you a line has infinite points. You can pick any 2 that you want to find the slope. So watch this. I'm going to use the first 2 points in my final slope, and then I'm going to do the second 2 points in my final slope. It doesn't matter. I always go from left to right. Can you go from right to left? Yes, I always go left to right. So if I go left to right, and pick the leftmost point, which is this right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know to find the slope of a graph is rise over run. So you say it. To find a slope from a graph, I'm going to use rise over run. Let's start from my leftmost point. My rise is up and down. To get to that second point, I need to go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For rise, you put +5. Draw your line. Now run. How many do I need to go run? They go left to right. It's to the right. 1, 2, +2. My run is +2. So now my slope, m equals 5 over 2. My slope is 5/2. My y-intercept is 0. Y equal mx plus b. My m is 5/2. Y equals, instead of m, I'm putting 5/2. My x, instead of b, I'm putting 0. You're never going to see an equation that says +0. So we don't need the 0. But that's what you will write originally. Boom. What's my equation of the line? Done. Y equal 5/2 x. So what this means is, watch this. I want to show you something. This is important for you to understand slope. Very important. I need you to understand. To get to another point on this line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 2. 1, 2. To get to the next point on the line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 2. 1, 2. It's a constant rate of change. That's what slope means. Y-intercept is where it crosses that y-axis. That's the easiest thing. So if you can identify whether slope is positive or negative, what the y-intercept is, you can get this question right on your exam, GED. So you don't go over one problem, right? But I'm gonna send this sheet with you. It sounds like I said something else there for a while though. I'm gonna send this sheet. I didn't say the other word. I said I'm gonna send this sheet. Right? So there's 8 problems. You make sure you get them right. So when you answer the question, you go to look at that. Y equal 5/2 x. Y equals 7/4 x plus 4. Y equal -2/3 x minus 4. You got 8 problems with the answers right there. So you go practice, make sure you got them right. That's how you study. So first of all, it's understanding the concept. Second, let me do enough practice problems so I make sure I fully understand it. The third part is, okay, can I apply this if I give word problems or they put it in a different format? That's the 3 levels. You got to have a conceptual understanding. You got to have coherence. And you got to have rigor. So rigor is you practicing. You sharpening that sword. You keep practicing until you know you got it. The coherence is, if I explain it in a different way on a harder level, do I still understand it? So right now, you might understand it from a graph. But if they put it in a word problem or give it to you in a different way, do you still understand it? Those are 3 levels right there. Do you have conceptual understanding? Does it have the rigor for you to make sure you ensure that conceptual understanding? And Can I apply it and use it at a higher level? Okay, so let's go to study guide. Let's see if they have it. So, right, they got any graphs from here? No, now I don't think they have any graphs. Let's see. So let me find one real quick. Let me find one real quick. Let me pause. So, I mean, just summarize everything we just did. First of all, you should be able to identify if a linear equation is slope-intercept form or standard form.
Mm-hmm.
If you're given slope-intercept form, y equal mx plus b, you should be able to identify quickly what the slope is, what the y-intercept is. You should be able to look at it. You shouldn't have to write anything down. For example, let me go to a blank page real quick. I thought I had a blank page open. Maybe I don't. There we go. For example, y equal negative 3 halves x minus 5. Y equal 0.002x plus 1.2. Y equal 3/4 x plus 16.5. If I look, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. All you looking for first, is it in this form? All 3 are in this form. What's my slope of number 1? What's my slope for number 1?
3/2.
What kind of 3 over
Minus
2?
five. I'm positive 5.
What kind of 3 over 2? Hold on.
The slope intercept.
No. What
No.
kind of 3 over 2? What did you forget?
Mm.
What's in front of the x? Tell me exactly what's in front of the x. 3 over 2 is
Oh,
not in front of the x.
negative three
Negative
over
3
two.
over 2.
Yeah.
So my slope is negative 3 over 2. What's my y-intercept?
Negative 5.
Negative 5. For number
So
2, what's
positive
my slope?
0.002.
002. What's my y-intercept?
Positive 1.2.
For 3, what's my slope?
3/4.
3 over
Positive
4. What's my
16.5.
y-intercept? See, you're going too fast. I ain't asked you why. You
Okay.
should 16.5. You should be able to do that simply now. Now, number 1, is my slope positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative. Why?
No.
Because it's negative 3 halves.
Yeah.
But number 2, is my slope positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive, because it's 0.002. Number 3, is my slope positive or negative?
Positive.
That easy.
Mm-hmm.
This is not hard. People make it hard because because their whole life they try to remember math. You got to know it. You got to know if you get that graph, what's meant. I know what the x-axis is. I know what the y-axis is. So I know how to do a coordinate point. My x is first, then my y. I need 2 points to find the slope. So if I'm given a graph, first of all, I need 2 points. Slope is rise over run. To find my y-intercept, where's my line crossing the y-axis? That's easy. But what happens is people get confused between y and y-intercept. They're not the same thing. So you have to say y-intercept, where my line crosses the y-axis. And then you keep saying it. You keep writing it. You keep doing it. And before you know it, what did that young lady just say? She said, I've been watching your videos and now I like math. Because she didn't have a clear understanding before. So what happens is when things start getting clarity and becoming clear to you, you start connecting all the dots. And it's like, wow, now I know what they're talking about instead of you remembering math. Then you know it. So this is why as you go through linear equations, first of all, you got to start with, do I know what the coordinate plane is? Do I know what the x and y axis is? Do I know how to identify a point? Can I figure out the slope from 2 points? Can I figure out the slope from a graph? Can I figure out the slope from an equation? What 2 types of equations are there? Slope intercept, standard form. Can I figure out the slope from a table? Now, what 2 things do I need for the equation of a line? I need the slope and I need my y-intercept. Can I find a y-intercept from a graph? Can I find a y-intercept from an equation? These are the things, as you start working these different concepts, you'll see they're all connected. And then you say, oh my God, this is easy. Because I'm telling you right now, if you just sent me what I sent you in your email, if you focus on the first 5 in linear equations, you'll pass in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Literally, if you focus just on the first 5 in linear equations, you'll pass in 2 weeks. Because you missed 3 first 5s and you missed 4 or 5 linear equations. That's 7 problems you passed
Well,
with flying colors. Okay, so keep that in mind. Work hard, keep practicing. If you get stuck on a problem, send me a text, send me an email. You can even call me. Okay?
okay.
All right. Everybody have a wonderful evening.
All right.
Thank you.
Huh?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.